Hey, what's up everyone? If you're new around here, then I am Sam. I built a ton of businesses, have an awesome family, play in a band as well, and love putting some videos out on YouTube. So let's just dive straight into this one, getting rich. Now, that probably means so many different things to so many different people. I'm sure loads of you straight away are just thinking, let's make a ton of money. And that's exactly what I was thinking about 10 years ago. But to me nowadays, getting rich means a bit more than that. Having a rich life should be everyone's aim. You've probably heard before that there is 4 pillars, let's say. So we've got health, wealth, love, and happiness. I think you could break it down more than that, but let's stick with those for now. When I was in my early 20s and towards my mid 20s, the only one of those that even remotely mattered was wealth. All I cared about was money. I was just like, I'm getting rich as hell. I'm gonna be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. And looking back, I often wondered, like, what would happen if I didn't have that goal, if I didn't have that in my mind, because there was nights out, parties, events, so much that I missed because I was just working. I was trying different stuff. I was drop shipping, I was trading, I was building businesses. I was doing every single thing I could do to try and make some money because I had this laser focused goal. And I got there, but at what detriment? And I've realized fairly recently, when I discovered this concept of treating life like it's made up of several seasons, I've realized that actually I did it right. And for a while I thought maybe I'd messed up, but actually I probably took the perfect path for me. So I'll lay it out quickly for you guys and you can see how this resonates with you. Maybe your situation is completely different. From my early 20s to probably, let's say 27, I was just laser focused on cash. I was like, I got to make a ton of money. That was it. It's all I cared about. Then when I got to like 27, I had a decent amount of money. I had some pretty successful businesses by that point. I had enough success where I was confident enough in my success going forward, if that makes sense. I felt I understood the game. I had learned the skills. I knew what I needed to do. If this business didn't work, I knew how to make the next one. So I started to refocus a little bit of my attention onto love because I was probably the most awful boyfriend before then. And I figured, you know what? I've built some wealth. I would love to start thinking about building a life to share this all with someone and have a really cool time. I wanted to move out with my parents, I wanted to buy a house, all that kind of stuff. So I started focusing on the love thing. And I really did focus on it and ended up meeting my now wife, which was amazing. We've been together a few years, had kids. Obviously, the love bucket filled up very, very quickly. So the wealth's nailed, the love is nailed. The happiness kind of was pushing that onto the side probably a little bit too much, and my health was abysmal. It was absolute trash. I was probably 40 kilos overweight at my absolute worst, 40 kilos heavier than I am now, and just drinking all the time, eating horrific food. But you know, when you're just coasting on like terrible eating, terrible drinking because you're just crushing it in your business and you know you're in a new relationship and all that kind of stuff, it's very easy for things to fall by the wayside. So fairly recently I've been on a massive health kick for like the last say 3 years, and it's taken me that long to get it dialed, to get to the point where I'm really happy with what I'm doing and I'm starting to look the way I want to look. And that come a little bit later in life for me. And even later than that, and this is one I've been working on for a long time, is the happiness. And that is one that I really feel like maybe in the last 18 months, I've really got dialed. I've really figured it out. And this idea of seasons has been the thing that has kind of unlocked it. So for a point of reference, I think the ultimate system to get whatever you want, if you want to get rich, like you want to get minted, make loads of money, if you want to find an amazing partner, build a relationship, having kids, or whether it's happiness or whether it is health. The ultimate way to do it is seasons paired with focus. I honestly believe you can't achieve anything great without complete focus. So I know the idea of balance is lovely, and I've always been someone who's kind of preached this business and balance mindset, like making sure you're working hard but you're playing hard. You know, I want to make tons of money, but I want to be there for my kids. I'm not missing a play or a football match or whatever. But if you want to achieve something great, you have to lock in and focus on it. The thing to recognize though is that it doesn't have to be forever. It's a season. It doesn't have to be summer, winter or fall. I'm talking about a season irrespective of, like, you could say, right, I need to build this product. When I've built the product, I can launch it, and then it won't need all my time to build the product. I can then just market it, see what happens, test it, try it, blah, 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 move forward, right? The season to actually get that thing off the ground, let's say it takes you 2 months. You need to give it undying focus. And that might mean for 2 months, you go to the gym less, once a week, let's say. It maybe means that you, do a little bit less cardio or something like that. And maybe you eat a few less calories to balance it out. Maybe you can't go out on date nights all the time, and you can't be expected to go out with friends on the weekend because you're locking in, you're doing it. But it's only 8 weeks. It's just like the health thing as well, right? You will very much struggle to lose any weight, to get jacked, to get ripped, to do whatever you want if every few days you're going out drinking, or you're saying yes to going out to these fancy meals. It's going to be really hard. You're going to be going like this on the scales. You're going to be going like this emotionally, and just locking in for a short period and then getting your body and your mind to that position where you're like, cool, I can definitely maintain this now. Then you can get back to the usual things. So building out, whether you've got a goal, building it into a season, realizing that, okay, this is the season I say no to going out and I lock in on my health, or this is a season I'm restricting the time I put into this business, even if that means getting an assistant or someone to help, because I'm going to be putting 6 of my 8 hours of a day into building this new thing. You've got to lock in and do it. Focus is absolutely the key, and that goes for any area of life. I don't think you can build health, wealth, love and happiness at the same time. I think you've got to lock in and do one, then do the next, then do the next, then do the next. Now, the order of that, I think, is down to you and figuring that out. There's a great book by Sahil Bloom called The 5 Types of Wealth. This was a game changer for me when I read it. I read it as soon as it came out, and it was a brilliant book. And in there, he's actually got a website for it, but you can just do the exercise yourself where you write he's got 5 types. Obviously, I'm talking about 4 pillars here, but you write out the points around the edge, and then you give yourself a score from 1 to 5 on each one. So for your love, it might be like, he might have called it relationships, and you might give yourself a 2. And then on the business front, you might give yourself a 5. On the love front, you might give yourself a 1. On the happiness, maybe a 3, right? So you might look at that and be like, damn, like, I need to focus on the love for a while. So you figure out how you're going to maintain all the others, because what you don't want to do is like pull away from them so they shrink down. You have to be able to maintain it, which I think is easy. When you've built something, it's easy to maintain. That goes for physiques, it goes for wealth, any of it. Once you've built it, it's very easy to maintain it just with very simple systems. But then you put most of your energy and your time for a season, for a period of time, whatever that is, into that thing. And what happens is, like, ever so slowly, and you've only got to knock it up 1 or 2 points, but your circle that starts like in the middle here, you start to branch out, and before you know it, you might be like at least a 3 in everything. And because you're a 3 in your health, and you're a 4 in your wealth, and you're a 4 in your love, automatically you're like a 5 in your happiness, and it all starts to fall into place. And you start to build what I would say is a really rich and fulfilling life. This is obviously something I've been working on for years, and I absolutely love the idea of putting out these YouTube videos and trying to help you legends figure some of this stuff out as quick as possible, because the sooner you nail it, the sooner you can dive in and do it. So a cool example, right, for me currently is I'm putting out these YouTube videos, but I have a long-term goal, right? I love the idea of helping other people. I love the idea of coaching, whether that be business, fitness, mindset, a combination of all of it. I want to build some form of coaching community where I can just get stuck in and really help people grow. Because I know I've had plenty of help over the years. I've paid for plenty of coaching, plenty of courses. I've had some amazing mentors in my time that have helped me make massive steps forward way quicker than I would have if I was trying to figure it out by myself. So that's something for me where I've already planned into my year. I know one of my main businesses, Guitar Gear Giveaway, it's easier for me to maintain in the summer. You know, we sales are a little bit slower, which is great, and I know that I'll have a little bit more time in the day to focus on building something out, building some sort of core product system around this idea of helping people. So I'm not trying to do it right now. I'm not burning myself out and doing a terrible job of this and a terrible job of this and a terrible job of this. I'm going to maintain over the summer, and I'm going to lock in and focus on this. And that's going to be my step towards building a richer life. And yeah, I hope that kind of helps, guys. I hope it resonates with you. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please feel free to find me over on Instagram if you do want to message me direct, chat about anything. I'm always there. But until next time, I'll see you then. Laters, everyone.